Shalom. Call halal Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahawashi, Bahashem, Rakaha Kradash, and double honors to the apostles and the elders and the bishops of Great Millstone, and Shalom to you, hopefully elect beloved brothers and sisters. Peace be unto you. I came across this video earlier today, and that's where the inspiration for this particular lesson comes from. And I want to bring it to the forefront, but why is that? Because we come back into this wisdom and knowledge and understanding of the truth. This is not always about talking about the damn white man, okay? Many of you brothers have a lot of work to do, firstly, with yourselves, all right? And many of you accept this sort of behavior, this sort of conduct from the woman. And why is that? Because you have very low standards. You have low self-esteem, and you don't take yourself seriously, all right? This truth, it not only refines and reforms us, we become more serious. We become more austere and more astute, okay? It's time to take yourself seriously, man, all right? Especially in this time period of prophecy. You need to get your head out of the black woman's ass, man. And my problem with many of you jakes is that it doesn't take much for you to become enamored by the woman, all right? All she got to be is somewhat relatively cute, you know, have a nice hips and a fat ass, and Jake is gone, man. You infatuated. Before I play this short here, let me grab a scripture. Because the scriptures tell us the things that are written beforehand, all right, are written for our learning. This is the book of 1 Ezra, chapter 4, verse 26 through 30, and it reads this. Many men have lost their minds because of what? Because of women, and have become slaves because of them. Many have perished or stumbled or sinned because of women. And now, do you not believe me? And the scripture goes on to give us an example, and it reads this. Is not the king great in his authority? Do not all lands fear to touch him? Yet I have seen him with the pain. The king's concubine, the daughter of the illustrious Bardachus, she would sit at the king's right hand, and take the crown from the king's head, and put it on her own, and slap the king with her left hand. And what do we glean from the scriptures here? This woman will publicly embarrass this man in front of his servants and so forth. And that's what it means by giving your strength unto the woman, to the point where the woman is embarrassing you and you do nothing about it. Let me come from this here, because we're going to see an example of that. Because why do you suppose that this woman recorded this interaction? She was attempting to publicly embarrass this man. All right. And I said this before, and I'm going to say this again, man. Should you find yourself in this vocation or this situation, man, you should get the hell out of it as quickly as possible. All right. But spiritual men, we should have enough discernment as to where we can discern what kind of spirit this woman is rolling in. And this shit here is unacceptable. All right. And I want you to watch closely, and per usual, I'll chime in momentarily.
Yes, you know my baby don't got no friends, no family. He's single. I wasn't gonna let that man go hungry. The fuck, don't be questioning me about what I spend our money on.
Then you use my money to spend money on this dude. You don't even take care of the kids.
Okay, the fuck, that is not his responsibility no more. You do know me and my kids live with you. Therefore, that's your job. My bad. Shut the hell up, because I'm talking. Be quiet.
Y'all gotta go.
No, my baby daddy is no longer obligated to do that. That is your job as a man. And as a man, what the hell do you need help for taking care of me and my kids? And don't question me about what I spend money on. Hello? I'm gonna fuck this nigga hang up on me. We'll call this bitch back.
There's a lot that can be said about this situation here, but a few things that I want to point out is this. You know, if you brothers were listening, man, she not only did she take the man's money and spend it on her baby's daddy, you know, she also referred to the man as a nigger, and she also topped it off by referring to the man as a bitch. You understand? This is why artists like Bruno Mars wrote that song, Smoking Out the Damn Window, for dealing with women of this sort, all right? And women of this magnitude, they just simply have to go, all right? That's why it's written in this part of prophecy that she who is my enemy shall be trodden down as mire in the damn street, all right? The Lord got a heavy judgment for women like this, man. Let me come out of this here, all right? Because if you brothers are my age or older, should you encounter a situation of this sort, of this magnitude, all right, you got to turn to Martin Lawrence, Marty Payne on their ass and tell women like this, you got to tell the broad to get to stepping, man. There's no two ways about it, all right? There's no salvaging that situation. This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 22, verse 5, and it reads this. She that is bold, like this woman here, dishonoreth both her father and her husband, but they both shall despise her. All right, remember, it's written in our laws, man. In Deuteronomy chapter 28, pardon me, is written in prophecy that her eye, meaning her mind, shall be evil toward the man in her bosom. And that's applicable not only to her father, but also her husband too as well. All right, let me come from this here. And let's go to the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 26, and I'll start up at verse 17 and jump around a bit to get to the point. And it reads, the wickedness of a woman changes her face, and darkness her countenance like sackcloth. Her husband shall sit among his neighbors, and when he heareth it, shall sigh bitterly. And I'm sure that man, after he hung up the phone, after he asked a few questions, let me add this too as well. My man handled that perfectly too as well. He answered a few questions and just simply told her she got to go, and hung up the phone. All right, let me read that again. Her husband shall sit among his neighbors, and when he heareth it, shall sigh bitterly. And I know that man did sigh to find out that his woman was spending his money on someone else, man. It's just a shitty situation. But let me continue on in verse 19. All wickedness, but as little wickedness of that of a woman, let the portion of a sinner falleth upon her. I'm gonna read that again. All wickedness, but is little wickedness to the wickedness of a woman. Let the portion of a sinner falleth upon her. I like something that verse 21 states, all right, because this is applicable to all of us, brothers. It reads, stumble not at the beauty of a woman, and desire her not for pleasure. You know, sometimes when I'm out and about, and I said this before, man, sometimes I really pay women just no attention, man. All right, okay, and that's what you brothers have to implement too as well. Speaking firstly to myself, man. All right, because brothers, when you look upon a woman's beauty, then you desire those things that are precious in her. And what's precious in a woman? Her ass, her titties, her lips, so on and so forth, man. All right. Okay, but let's continue on with verse 23, and it reads this: a wicked woman abideth courage, and maketh a heavy countenance, and a wounded heart. A woman that will not comfort her husband in distress maketh weak hands and feeble knees. Of a woman came the beginning of sin, and through her we all die. Give the water no passage, neither give a wicked woman liberty to gad abroad. Here's the point in verse 26. If she go not as thou wouldest have her, cut her off from thy flesh, and give her a bill of divorce. And that's why I said before, man, all right, it is not far-fetched, man. If I was a betting man, if she's giving her money to another dude, more than likely if she's giving your money to another man, more than likely she's sleeping with that man too as well. Okay, all right, let me come from here. Let me go to the book of Proverbs, the 31st chapter and the 3rd verse, and it reads this: give not your strength unto what? The woman, nor thy ways to that which destroy kings. All right, brothers, all of us, we got to have a perfect balance with dealing with the woman, man. Don't give her too much, don't give her too little. All right, keep it perfectly balanced, man. All right, and I can't tell each brother how to operate in dealing with the woman. That's for you to figure out, man. But what does the scripture say? I'll read it again. Proverbs chapter 31 verse 3. Do not give your strength unto the woman, nor the ways to that which destroy kings. I have a son that's a young man, and I teach them this very precept, even now, even until this day. Your every waking thought, your every waking move should not be based around the woman. All right, okay. Let me come from this here. Now, let's go to the book of Ecclesiasticus chapter 9. The point is in verse 8, but I'll start at verse 2 and read down, because all of this is applicable to us, brothers. And it reads, give not thy soul unto a woman, to set her foot upon thy substance. Meet not with an harlot, lest thou fall into her snares. Use not much company of a woman that is a singer. And what's a woman that's a singer? She's nothing more than an entertainer, brothers. All right. Many of you men, you know, you're caught up with OnlyFans and Instagram models and so forth and strippers. All right. I think last year there were several women that became millionaires because they are OnlyFans models. You see that? And Jake, you get caught up by these things. And the scriptures tells us, let me continue on. I'll read verse 4 again. Use not much company of a woman that is a singer, lest thou be taken with her attempts. The scriptures tells us clearly, gaze not on a maid, that thou fall not by those things that are precious in her. And I already touched on what we as men find precious unto a woman, but continuing on. Give not thy soul unto harlots, that thou lose thine inheritance. Look not round about thee in the streets of the city, neither wander there in solitary places thereof. Verse 8 is the point. Turn away thine eye from a beautiful woman, and look not upon another's beauty. And why is that? For many have been deceived by the beauty of a woman, wherewith love was kindled as a fire. You don't think that Jake, when he looked at this woman at first glance, he had all sorts of thoughts running through his mind? He never knew that the broad had legions of demons on her. But nevertheless, let me come back out of this and let me get with a few more scriptures, and that'll be the lesson. This is the book of Ecclesiasticus chapter 26 verse 22, because women like this, they're counted as spit. And how do we know? It reads this: and harlot shall be counted as spittle. All right. But a married woman is a tower against death to her husband. All right. Read Proverbs the 31st chapter, man. A woman is supposed to be a benefit unto you, and her discretion should fatten your bones, man. The scripture tells us in the Proverbs the 31st chapter, just a few precepts are coming to mind, that it says her husband doesn't lack or want for anything. But I can't say this enough. A woman of this sort, she just simply has to go, man. And let me come out of this here. And this is the last scripture of the book of Ecclesiasticus chapter 26 verse 25. And it reads, a shameless woman shall be counted as a dog, but she that is shamefaced will fear the Lord. A woman that honoreth her husband shall be judged wise of all, but she that dishonoreth him in her pride shall be counted ungodly of all. And women like this, the Lord is going to put these women to death, because the scriptures tells us that the sinners of my people shall die by the sword. And I hope through the spirit and the power of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, this lesson has been quick and edifying and to the point. Shalom.